Hey there, and welcome to the Totally Fierce Crochet channel. My name is Thomas, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make 3 different kinds of Tunisian crochet stitches to get 3 different Tunisian crochet headbands. So long story short, recently I uploaded the video tutorial for this Tunisian crochet headband, and which I still think is very pretty, and it matches perfectly with the others. But one of my viewers commented that it was actually quite hard to see what I'm doing when I use a fancy yarn just like this, and I completely got it. He or she was so right. Um, I'm always drawn to fancy yarn like this. When fancy yarn sees me, it screams, buy me, buy me. So I always buy that kind of yarn to make something special out of it. But I haven't thought about the fact that it's actually quite hard to see for viewers out there how the texture would look like and how it is made. So I very spontaneously decided to make another one, and instead of having the same one, which is this, in this Tunisian crochet knit stitch, I decided to make 3 headbands with 3 different Tunisian crochet stitches, so you can also then later on compare which one you like best and do one for yourself. So without any further ado, let me show you how to make those beautiful Tunisian crochet headbands. They're super easy and super fast to make, and they're the perfect project for beginners. So when you're new to Tunisian crochet, making a quick and easy headband is just a perfect starting point on your Tunisian crochet journey. So if you don't want to miss any of my future videos, make sure to like this video and to subscribe to my channel to not miss any of the tutorials. So let's start with the things you need. First up, the yarn, of course. I was just checking all my yarn boxes and found those 3 more chunky yarn balls that I had from, I don't know, whatever project. Maybe I just bought them because I thought the colors were pretty. They are from Hobby, called Amigo XL, extra large. It's a 100% acrylic yarn, and it's very, very soft, very chunky. So with a chunky yarn, you'll be able to finish your headbands very fast. And in the back, it's indicated that you would use a crochet hook size 5 to 6 millimeters. But since this is Tunisian crochet, it's always good to size it up. So I'm going to use a 8 millimeter. So you can basically say that the number indicated on the yarn ball plus 1 to 2 millimeters, I would say. It really depends on how tense you want to have your finished work. And as I mentioned in my previous Tunisian crochet video, to make Tunisian crochet, it's important that you have a hook that's pretty even throughout the entire hook. So no waves or plastic parts or whatever to hold it better. So for Tunisian crochet, the straighter the hook, the better. As a reference, this is actually a real Tunisian crochet hook. It has this metallic part in the end where you can put a cable in. So when you have like bigger work for Tunisian crochet, you can then have the loops all the way for as long as you wish. This is also an 8 millimeter, but when you're a beginner and you're new to Tunisian crochet, it's completely fine to work with a regular crochet hook, 8 millimeters. Then, of course, a yarn needle to finish your work in the end, and of course, some scissors. So let's start with the first Tunisian crochet headband, and the stitch I'm going to use is called the Tunisian crochet simple stitch, which is basically like the equivalent to the single crochet, I would say. And to start your headband, we are going to make a slip knot but leave a longer tail of end yarn. So to make a slip knot, this is basically how I do it. I wrap it around my finger and then pull the working part of the yarn that goes to the yarn ball through, and then tighten it, and then of course we can work. Since the hook is of a bigger size, it's completely okay when everything is a bit loose, so it's totally fine. And once you have made a few rounds, you will see that it's actually quite perfect with the bigger hook size. And to start off, we are going to start with a foundation round. And the foundation round, if you're new to foundation rounds, goes as follows. You take the tail, the yarn end, you pull it over the hook and in between with the yarn that goes to the yarn ball, then yarn over. You now have 3, and then I usually hold it a little bit here towards the slip knot, and then pull the yarn through the 2 loops. I'll show you again. So here's the tail, the end tail. You pull it over the hook, then grab the other yarn, your working yarn, pull it over and pull through. Then again, yarn over, yarn the second, put the second yarn over and pull it through. Yarn over, the next yarn over and pull it through. And just like this, you get a thicker starting round than you would normally have it when you do a chain. Of course, you can always do a chain and then work in the back loops. And the amount of stitches that you do then also determines the height of your headband. For this tutorial, I'm going to use a height of 13 stitches. Let me count to see how many I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So one more. And the foundation round is completed. You can leave the end yarn, the tail, where it is. We are going to handle that later. And as you can see, you get like a sort of 3-dimensional first round, which I think is just perfect for smaller projects or scarves. So whenever you need a really straight border, this is definitely the way how to do that. So now we can start with our first Tunisian crochet round. For each of the 3 stitches that you are going to see, it's all the same. For the first round, you already have your first loop right here, and then you can go directly into that second stitch, pull your hook through, yarn over, and pull the yarn through. Then you go in the next stitch, yarn over, and pull through. And in the next, yarn over and pull through. Now you have 4. So you always keep those loops on the hook until you have 13 loops on your hook. And that's exactly the reason why I told you to use a straight crochet hook, because then those loops will go along the crochet hook. And it's also okay to have it a bit loose, or you can pull it up a little bit, just as you wish. Tunisian crochet work is very flexible, very soft also, so the less tension you use, the best results you will get. Then the last one, never forget that last one. And here we go. You can count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. So 13 loops on your hook. And now we are going to make our return pass, which is the same for all Tunisian crochet projects. And it goes as follows. You yarn over and pull the yarn through one loop. You yarn over again and then pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. All the way until you have one loop left on your hook. And this is how you basically made your first Tunisian crochet round. It looks like this. You might wonder what this will turn into, but you will see once you made a few rounds how the pattern looks. And we are already good to go with round number 2. So what's important for this stitch is that you have those vertical bars here. And for the Tunisian simple stitch, we are going to work only in the front of those vertical bars. As you can see, you have them in the front and in the back. But for the Tunisian simple stitch, we are going to work only in the front bars only. So you grab your hook, put it right underneath that first front bar, you yarn over and pull the yarn through and pull it up a little bit. So you basically highlight also those vertical bars. Then we go to the next, yarn over and pull through. You now have 3. Then again only in the front bar, all the way through. And just try to keep everything as relaxed as possible, because that's the way how to get like a very flexible and soft headband in the end. And then for the last loop, you always want to make sure to go through those last 2 loops from the previous round, yarn over and pull it through, because like that you get a pretty straight edge towards the sides. And since we just use the first loop, which was also the last loop from the previous round, as is without doing anything, you get straight edges on both sides, which makes Tunisian crochet quite perfect for all things straight or even triangle, rectangle, because you don't have to worry about the border and you don't have to like crochet another border on it. So now we are good to go back. As we did it before, we yarn over and pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2 and 2 and 2 and 2, 2, all the way through until you have one loop left on your hook. Just like this. And now you can see that basically here you have those vertical bars from the last round, and the round before gets pushed down by those vertical bars from the previous round where we worked in the new ones. So this is basically what is going to happen, and you will see once we have a few rounds. So we start the next Tunisian crochet round. We don't do anything with the first one. We go into that second vertical bar only in the front, pull the hook through, yarn over and pull through. And you see, by just pushing it up a little bit, you push the previous round down to close the work, basically. And like that you get a solid surface or solid texture. And you always have those vertical bars visible. And as you can see, you reach the end of the round so quickly because of the chunky yarn, because we're already at the last one. So make sure you have that typical V shown here, and then go through both of the loops. Sometimes when it's a bit tricky here to get it, I just go through one and then push the other loop over it. But that's completely up to you. Just make sure that you have like those, that you have the last pull through both of the loops, and we can go back. So we yarn over and pull through one, yarn over and through two, all the way till the beginning. So here you can see those vertical bars, and it's as if you would have like two horizontal bars as well, which is correct. This is exactly how the Tunisian simple stitch should look like. I will just make a few more rounds with you. So pretty, and it's also like very, very soft, very cozy, and very dense. So it's like very flexible. You will definitely love the texture of it. It's very unique. I remember when I first started Tunisian crochet, I was completely shocked what you could do with not only a regular crochet hook, but also a Tunisian crochet hook. Because it was completely new to me, and the texture is so unique, so special, and you can do really beautiful things with it. From scarves to pillows to blankets, baby blankets, everything. I even tried to make myself a cardigan. I think it's somewhere here. I don't know. I stopped it because I got fed up, so bigger projects are not my friends. So I'm going to make one more round before then switching to the next stitch, and then I'm going to make everything the length I need. So how many rounds you make is completely up to you. You can always take a reference headband that you maybe already have, or put the work around your head to see how it would fit. Dang, those last two are always a bit tricky for me, but that's all right. My yarn ball has also fallen somewhere down the floor. So 5 rounds of Tunisian simple stitch. It looks like this. Looks pretty on both sides actually. Here you have like all those little shells and bumps, and you can also see the straight border on both sides. So pretty, so even, and it's still flexible and fun. So this was the Tunisian simple stitch, and I'm going to continue making that until I reach my head size. And I'm going to start with the next Tunisian crochet stitch. So if you're familiar with my previous Tunisian crochet video, this is the same stitch, the Tunisian knit stitch, and we start our headband the same way like we did with the simple stitch and make a foundation round. I'm going to fast forward this because you don't have to see that twice unless you want to. And our first round is going to be exactly like we did before. So we put our hook through that first stitch here, yarn over, and pull it through. And we do that all the way. So as you can see, the multiple stitches basically almost all work the same in the beginning, at least. Of course, there are some more complicated stitches in Tunisian crochet. There are actually quite a lot of stitches. I bought 2 books a while ago where there are like, I don't know, 50 to 60 different Tunisian crochet stitches. So it's very versatile. You can make so many things with so many different stitches. It's amazing. And the last one is right here. And here we go. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 13. So we have again our 13 loops on our hook, and the return pass, of course, is the same. So you yarn over and pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, and through 2 and 2. And here we go. So first round done. So for the Tunisian knit stitch, it's very similar to the Tunisian simple stitch. We still watch out for those vertical bars, and instead of taking just that first vertical bar, or instead of just working into that first bar like we did it for the simple stitch, we are actually going from the side and then through those vertical bars. So through the 2 vertical bars, because as I mentioned before, you have ones in the front and you have ones in the back, and in the middle, I hope you can see it, in the middle there's a space, it's right here. So here you can see the first vertical bar, and the second is right underneath it. It's from the back, and we are going through those 2 bars, so all the way through, and then you grab your hook and then pull it through both of them. I do it again. Here you can see the 2 loops better, or the 2 vertical bars better. Here's the one on the front, and on the right is the one from the back. What you can do is that you push the hook from the side through those 2, and then just turn your hook and pull it to the back. Then grab the yarn, and you can pull it just through the back vertical bar and then go through to the front, or you do it all at once. The more you do with this kind of stitch, the faster you will make it through both of them, because you know where to find them, or then you know how to hold the work. So through the front, then to the back, and then you pull it through both of them. So this is really up to you. Some can do it like all at once. For me, it's also easier to know where to go with my hook, so I usually go from the side and then pull it through, so I know I'm in between those 2 vertical bars, and pull it through, and that last one, and then we have our corner. Same thing as we had before, just make sure that you go through both of the loops, yarn over and pull it through. And for that stitch I would definitely recommend to pull everything a bit up, because that helps with the pattern. Then we go back, you yarn over and pull through 1 and through 2 all the way. What I can tell you already about this stitch is that your work is going to curl a little bit more because of the tension going through both vertical bars. Here's how it looks like, and you might already see why this is called the knit stitch, because instead of having the vertical bars also visible in the end, we are going to create like little V's that look very much to knitting, and we are going to make a few more rounds so that you can see it. So the next round, again, from the side to the back and pull it through, from the side to the back and pull it through. Just like that. Again, those back loops are pushed downwards, so all the holes from the vertical bars close up. And the last one. Oh, that was easy. And we are good to go back. So yarn over and go through 1, and then yarn over and always go through 2 all the way. And now you can see how the texture comes alive, and it does look like knitting. It's really funny, even the back looks like knitting. So we make a few more. Again, don't hold it too tight. Have it very relaxed in your fingers. I know that's easier said than done. But for Tunisian crochet, the relaxed way of doing it is quite crucial actually, to have like a very even quality. And that last one, pull everything up, yarn over, pull through one and pull through two. Now you know the drill. The yarn is tangled up. And here's how it looks like. I mean, if this doesn't look like knitting, it's just amazing. I'll make one more before switching to the third and final stitch. So basically, if you follow along with me, by the end you will have 3 brand new Tunisian crochet headbands. And if you use some more springy colors just like me, then spring has to come around the corner, hopefully very soon. But even then, we all know it, there are days when it's windy and rainy, so it's always good to be cautious and wear something on your ears to not get sick. And that last one, and then yarn over, pull through 1, 2, 2, 2, all the way through. Here you can now also see the curl now. It's ridiculous, but it is what it is. There are so many tutorials pretending they have the cure for not curling in Tunisian crochet. I think they're all liars, to be honest. Because you can do whatever you want to, it's curling anyway. But for the headband, actually, it's not that that bad when it curls, because then later on we are going to attach the beginning and the end to it and have it round, so you won't see the curling in the end. So maybe that's the cure, but it just curls. It's the tension of the yarn, and even though we are using a much bigger yarn than it was indicated on the yarn ball, it will always curl, and that's completely normal. No matter how your tension was while doing it. I feel like I also had like one round here where my tension was a bit off, but Tunisian crochet is very forgiving, and that's why I always push on it a little bit or pull it and try to straighten it a little bit. But once you made more, it's no issue. So here we go. It looks even more like knitting, Now I can completely understand the comment from the viewer under my last Tunisian crochet video, because you actually can't see that beautiful texture, which is so easy to do when you have like a very fancy yarn. So here it is. Here's the back. It looks pretty on both sides actually, as it always is with Tunisian crochet. So you basically always get two patterns into one. And this was the Tunisian knit stitch. Up next is the Tunisian full stitch, and I just finished the foundation round. I'm pretty sure you're familiar now with foundation rounds, and then you also know that the first round is exactly the same. If I can get through that stitch, here it is. So again, our stitch count is 13 stitches. So later on you can then compare all 3 stitches perfectly and see that the sizes will all be the same. Two more. I think I said it all the time, but the first round is always the most fiddly one. And I'm always happy when the first round is done. So here we go, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Did I miss one? I missed one. Shoot. Right here. Okay. Let's do it again. So you see, it's always important to count. At some point, you might just have missed one. And I could say it's because I'm looking on the phone and I'm looking on the stitches to see if everything is correct, but that would be a lame excuse. I just missed one, which is okay. We're all human, and you can always like open your work again and do it all over. So let's just hope that when I count the next time, I do have 13, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 13. Woohoo! Then of course, as always, we go back and go through 1, 2, and 2 all the way. And here we go. You have the vertical bars, you have the spaces in between. So for the simple stitch, we worked in those front vertical bars only. For the knit stitch, we worked in between the front and the back vertical bars. And for the Tunisian crochet full stitch, we are just going to work in those holes in between the bars. That's how easy Tunisian crochet actually is, and you get 3 completely different stitches and textures by just changing small things. And the first 2 stitches were 1 round repeats. For the full stitch, it's a 2 round repeat, so we have to be careful a little bit. And we start with the first of those 2 repeat rounds, and we are going to put our hook into that first space, so left from the 2 vertical bars. right in here, grab the yarn and pull it through. Then in the next space in between the vertical bars, and the next all the way through. Now compared to the other ones, this is probably more simple because you work in those holes, so pretty similar to regular crochet. And now we have 2 left. So now we can count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 already. We have 13 in total, and our last one is not the hole, it is our corner stitch or corner loops here. So we are going to skip that hole before there's the last before you reach the corner of your work, to have 13 stitches, and later on or in the next round we are going to skip the first one and work in the last round to balance the work out, and this is why it's a 2-round repeat. So now we can go back, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. Here we go. You don't see that much just yet. So for the next round, and the round before, we worked in that first space or in that first hole here. We are going to skip that now and go into the next one, and then we continue as we did before. You can basically do this stitch with closed eyes and just use your finger to see where the hole is. So now we have the last hole left, and this time we are going to work in it and then grab our corner loops, pull it through. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 13. Perfect. And then we go back. And you can see a little bit of the texture. It looks completely different than the ones that we had before, but that's exactly what we want. So we then continue with how we made the first of the repeat round. So we go in that first hole, grab the yarn and pull it through, and then go in all of the next holes. And remember to always push it up a little bit. And here's that last hole that we are going to skip again. Geez, those end loops here are giving me hell today. And we go back, pull through 1, 2, And here we go. As you can see, you get like this sort of woven texture. Super pretty. Then for the next round, we have the second repeat round. We go in, not in the first hole, we go in the next. Usually that first, when we had like when we worked in the first hole from the previous round, they get very close to each other here. So this is how you can indicate a little bit which round you're in. It's just by how close they are. So we skipped the first one, so here we go in the next one, in the final, in the last whole space, and then our corner loops and go back. I don't know about you, but the return pass is my favorite. It's so relaxing and so satisfying. Hey, see the texture? So gorgeous. I will make another one before leaving you to it. So you can work on your headband until you reach the size of your head. And this is then when we see us again. And we go back. The same thing. And here we go. Such a pretty texture. And this is where I leave you to it. Have fun. And we're going to see us again once you reach the size of your head. Don't make it too loose. Have it a little bit tighter because it's still very flexible. It's wool, so you don't want to like loosen it up too much. And I'll meet you to show you how the 3 headbands look and how to attach the start and the back to each other to finish your headbands. See you! Welcome back to this tutorial. As you can see, I made great progress in making those 3 new Tunisian crochet headbands, and now you can also see how the different textures look like, even though we just changed the stitches only a little bit, but the effect is just awesome. First up was our simple Tunisian simple stitch, which looks like this. You get all those vertical bars. Looks very pretty. Also the back side is just stunning. You have this very crisp nice border all around. Those holes that you see here are totally normal. This is how the border usually looks when you do simple crochet, not simple crochet, Tunisian simple stitch. And it's very soft, very thin also. I don't know if you can see that. It's not that squishy, so it would be also perfect for a vest or a sweater. But definitely if you want to have like a thin and easy and light headband, this would be the stitch to go for. Then we have the Tunisian crochet knit stitch, and here you can see how the structure looks. It looks just like knitting, so pretty. Even in the back it looks like knitting, and because of the back you have like a thicker texture, a thicker headband, and it's also much more flexible and squishy than the one with the simple crochet. But it's so pretty, and I even love it in that color. You have this very straight border on the sides, probably the most straight one, and no holes at all. So this is really perfect for a headband, or I don't know, handles for a bag or something like that. I mean, it's just, I cannot stop touching it. It's so squishy and so beautiful when you feel it. And then the last one was the Tunisian crochet full stitch, and here you see this woven effect. So gorgeous. It's even a bit more squishy than the knit stitch. The only thing that I don't really like about this stitch, even though I love this middle part, is the border. It always looks a bit weird because we had to skip the first hole basically every second round, and the same goes for the border on the other side. So if I would use this for as a headband, I would probably just make a border in single crochets or slip stitches all the way around, just to even it up a little bit. But anyhow, I mean, if you then put it on your head, you get like all those little holes in there, and it should be fine also with that border or those bigger holes that come out where we skipped the stitches. But yeah, this is how now the 3 different Tunisian crochet stitches look like in action as a headband. And now you can also see why this is just a perfect beginner project for Tunisian crochet, because you can really just try out the different stitches on a small size. So whenever you feel like it's not your thing or you want another stitch, you can just undo it and it goes very fast to make another one. So try them out to see which one you loved the most, and then just play with it. And now I'm going to show you how to finish them off. So let's finish it. I will show it, I don't know if I will show it on all of them. Maybe I will show it just for the first one, because most of the, I mean, the way how to finish the Tunisian crochet work is pretty much the same, because we actually do the same as we would do a regular round, but in a way that we don't have to go back to close it, because if we would now finish it, you would have like those big holes here, and this is something we don't want. So to finish the work, for, in this case, for the Tunisian crochet simple stitch, we are going to chain 1, and then we are doing as if we would start another round. So we pull the yarn through, and instead of like grabbing the next vertical bar, we are just going to slip stitch to close it. Then again, we take the next vertical bar only from the front, yarn over, pull the yarn through, and slip stitch through it. And again, the way. So like that you also get like a nice border in the end, which is then quite helpful when it comes to sewing ends together and closing your work. And for the last one, we are going through the both loops as we did before, and then just slip stitch, make another chain one, and you can cut the yarn off and pull the yarn through. And this is how you end your Tunisian crochet. So now we can easily sew those ends together, and as you can see you get like a pretty nice end here. So it's quite easy to find those stitches, and for that we are going to use the yarn that we just cut off, use our yarn needle, and I will do this very easily by going into those outer stitches here. You can always, once you have made a few, you can always then just pull on them to close it. Did I miss one? Yes, I missed one. This one. And just make sure that you go all the way up and also through that last one. This looks quite nice. and then I just knot the two yarn ends together, and we are going to hide them on the inside of our headband. So I'm going to flip it over and then just weave those two ends in there, go through some of those stitches. It doesn't have to go all the way through. And then back again. Again, just go through some of those stitches to secure it. Like that. And you can cut it turn it and the first headband is complete. Let's do the other ones. So the same thing here. We start with a chain and then we act as if we would make another round of the Tunisian crochet knit stitch, and instead of like grabbing the next loop, we just slip stitch the yarn through to finish the round. And the last one. And we can cut the yarn, make another chain and pull it through and tighten it. And here we go, number 2. So here, since we finished with the last round, we worked the first space here. So I'm going to do as if this would be a round 2, and then do the same thing, and instead of taking the loop on the hook, we just slip stitch all the way till the end. And don't forget that last one, and then in the corner, And we can cut the yarn already. And make a chain one and pull it tight. And here you have the end of the Tunisian full stitch. The final cut. And here we go. You can always like drag it a little bit to even it up. But anyhow, you're going to wear it around your head and no one's going to see the whole picture. So if there are some irregularities here and there, or when the back is a bit curvy or whatever, to be honest, it doesn't really matter. It's just a headband. And here we go. Our 3 headbands with 3 different Tunisian crochet stitches are done. We had the Tunisian simple stitch, we had the Tunisian knit stitch, and the Tunisian full stitch. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed making those pretty Tunisian crochet headbands with me, and let me know in the comments if you want to see more tutorials with Tunisian crochet. I'd be happy to make them. So see you soon. Bye.